Islam. Okay. Mate, they're terrorists. I'm telling me that God loved me, and I kept on thinking, God killed my dog. He doesn't love me. So I went and spoke to my friend, this religious Christian friend of mine, and I said, look, I've investigated all the religions and I can't find what I'm looking for. And he said to me, well, what have you investigated? And I said, oh, well, look, I've investigated Christianity, I've investigated this ism, this, that, all the isms. And he said to me, you've actually missed out one. I said, no, I don't think so. I think I pretty much covered everything. He goes, well, what about Islam? And I went, Islam? Okay. Mate, they're terrorists. I'm not going to investigate Islam. They're crazy. No way, you know. But, lo and behold, alhamdulillah, I found myself walking into Preston Mosque one day. I was very nervous parking my car in the car park. I thought it might explode. I walked in through the doors. I looked around. There was hardly anyone around. I thought, good. I walked straight across the prayer rug with my shoes on. I walked straight past the brother praying. As he went into sujood, I almost stepped on his head. I had no idea, right? I walk across and I stopped. Abu Hamza came out of a door. That's the brother who just introduced us before, Samir. And I thought, this is it. I'm about to die. I've seen this guy before. I've seen him on the news. I can't believe I come here looking for answers and I'm going to die. This is not fair. But, alhamdulillah, the first words to come out of Abu Hamza's mouth were, how you going, mate? Now, he looked like he just walked out of the Sahara Desert, right? He had a beard down to here. He was wearing a dress that I thought it was a dress, right? But I wasn't going to tell him it didn't look good. No way. All he needed was a can of VB and he could have been, how you going, mate? One of the boys. There was a couple of brothers that were always quite regularly there during the day when I could make it, in between my lectures when I went to them. And we used to sit down and we'd talk about the different sort of questions that I had and the things that I wanted to know about Islam. They were very hospitable. I kept on getting cups of tea, biscuits. Now, no other religious sect had done this for me, right? So I was quite impressed. And I didn't just come back for the biscuits, I also came back for the knowledge. Now, as an Aussie, I was not used to this level of hospitality, I should say. I'm not sure, I don't want to offend anyone again, but as an Australian, if you offer someone a cup of tea and they say no, you go, okay. These guys wouldn't take no for an answer. Would you like a cup of tea, bro? No, thanks, bro. Are you sure? No, I'm right. Are you sure, bro? I'll go get one. No, I'm right, bro. No, I'm getting one anyway. Sure. Look, I'll just get you one, right? No worries, I'll get you one. All right, man, I'll take the tea, you know? Subhanallah. So I had to keep on taking toilet breaks, you know, there's cups of tea waiting when I come back. I put on about 10 kilos in my quest for religious enlightenment. But anyway, as I say, we get back to the questions I was asking the brothers. Now, what I'd found with a lot of the other churches and people that I'd spoken to, religious leaders, was that when I asked a question, they would quite often just say, your answer is this. I'd say, oh, okay, that's pretty good. When I was sitting down with the brothers from the mosque, when I would say, listen, I don't understand this, what about this? They would never just answer from their opinion. They would always pick up the Quran, they would open it up, and it would be like, they're like human indexes. They would just, bang, page 142, read this. And I would read it and I would go, wow, that's beautiful. And I would say, look, you know, where's all this part about killing people and blowing up cars? And I don't see that. Is it somewhere towards the back that I haven't read it yet? You know, I can't find it. You know, I haven't quite gotten up to that bit yet. And they said, no, we'll talk to you about what we know, and then we'll tell you what the media says. Now, my obvious first impressions when I walked in were that these guys were terrorists. And I found nothing but the opposite. I found that they were the most hospitable, caring, nice people. I mean, these are guys that would say, do you need a lift home? Because they saw my car. Do you need a panel beater? Do you need a new motor? But they really cared, and I could see it in their eyes that it wasn't something like, you know, if you go to a church you need to donate, or, you know, we're looking for money from you. These guys really cared, and it intrigued me. I thought, how can they care so much about something? It blew me away. So I kept on asking questions, and as the brother before me was speaking about alcohol and marijuana and all those sort of things, obviously I'd also taken all of those things. Alcohol, I loved the drink. Loved watching the footy with a can of VB, all that sort of stuff. But I asked the brothers, I said, look, I know that in Islam we can't drink alcohol. Well, you can't drink alcohol. And I remember speaking to them, and they said, look, Islam is not just a religion for yourself, it's also a religion based on a whole social community. Just because some people might be able to say, I can just have a drink of wine with dinner and that's it, doesn't mean that everyone can do that. At the same time, some people only have a drink and next thing they've drunk 10, they're driving a car and they've run over some poor kid on the road. So the fact that Islam has this social conscience, it's saying there are some that are going to abuse it, some that aren't. Prevention is better than cure. Rather than try and look at something that we can cure later on, Allah knows we're going to abuse it, right? And let's face it, people with alcohol, they abuse it. And I was a security guard for quite a while. I saw a lot of people abusing alcohol. So alhamdulillah, I started realising that Islam is not just about each individual, it's also about a community. I also asked questions about the hijab and why couldn't I wear it. How come I can have 4 wives? How come she can't have 4 husbands, huh? But every time I'd ask these questions, I'm not going to answer them tonight because I'm not giving a lecture. You'll start laughing at me even more. They would still give me reasons, and as an Australian, I would still struggle a little bit with some of their reasons, but the more and more I thought about this whole social idea of Islam working as a community, I realised that all these things really fit well together. Very difficult from an outside point of view to think, okay, the scarf, or okay, the beard, or okay, the kebab, okay, the abaya, whatever. But once you start actually looking inside the religion working as a whole unit, as in implementing every step of the way, it starts to make sense. And it started to make sense. But again, I didn't want to just make a leap of faith because I wasn't looking just to say, hey, that's my religion. These guys have got panel beaters, mechanics. These are the guys for me, right? I wanted to actually find something that for me really made sense. One night, I was sitting at home. Now, I apologise to some people who may have heard this story. It's called the candle story. I was sitting at home and I thought to myself, I want to be, you know, one with myself again. I want to get closer to Allah. So I lit a candle. I opened the window. I had the blinds drawn. It was a nice night, a bit warm, you know. Thought this is about as spiritual as it gets, you know, a candle. The Quran. I'm sitting there reading. And I stopped and I thought to myself, look, this is the time. This is my night. Tonight, Allah and me, we're going to have a bit of a conversation. We're going to, you know, we're going to bond. All I need from you, Allah, is just a sign. Just a little sign. Look, nothing too major, just maybe a bolt of lightning. Bolt of lightning for you, man. Come on, you created the earth. This is just a bolt of lightning. It'll be easy. So I sat there and I went, okay, go. And I swear to you, nothing happened. Absolutely nothing. I was really disappointed. I said, Allah, this is your chance. I'm here, I'm asking you. Where's my sign? You know, come on. I'll give you another chance. Maybe you were busy, you know, it's night time here, it's busy over the other side of the world. I'll give you another chance. I said, look, this time don't worry about a bolt of lightning. Maybe I could just get a bit of a creak in the floor. You know, maybe I could hear a car backfire. Something that I'll know it's for me, but no one else will know, just between you and me. Again, I said, go. I'm waiting. And I waited. I think I waited about a minute. And that felt like a long time at the time. And nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened. And I was really disappointed. I thought, I'm like on this cliff. I'm on the edge of a cliff. I'm about to jump into Islam and I just haven't been pushed. I haven't taken that little leap. So I thought, look, I'll keep reading Quran and I'll talk to the brothers. I'll say that I spoke to Allah and He didn't answer me. Didn't even get an answering machine, nothing. So I turned the Quran, turned to the next page where I'd finished off. SubhanAllah, the very next verse that I read, for those of you who ask for signs, have we not shown you enough already? Look around you at the skies, the stars, land, the oceans. these are the signs for the people of knowledge. Subhanallah. Straight away, my whole world changed. I was staring at the Quran. I was just in shock. I couldn't believe that I'd been so arrogant to ask for my own specific sign when the signs had been around me all the time. There's a creator because there's a creation. So I closed the Quran. I had the best night's sleep, I got to tell you. I went straight to the mosque the next day. Alhamdulillah, Abu Hamza was there again. I said, Abu Hamza, this is what's happened to me. He said, that's it, you become a Muslim today. There's no mucking around with Abu Hamza. I said, but wait a second, I just had a zinger burger with dude on the way here, you know. I've got to brush my teeth or something. I heard we can't eat ham, you know, what's going on? He goes, don't worry about all that. Yallah. So, but when I walked into the mosque, the people just started pouring in. And I went, subhanAllah, look at this religion. You know, I've been to churches where there's, you know, 20 people, 30 people, 50 people. There was about 1,000 people that night. And I thought, this is amazing. This religion is truly the religion of choice. And then I found out it was the first night of Ramadan. The good old Ramadan Muslims. But still, it was nice. So anyway, Abu Hamza took me aside. He said, look, you're going to have to say a few words. I said, what do you mean I've got to say a few words? I thought I just had to sign something, get a bit of garlic sauce on my tongue or something, that's it. I'm a Muslim. He said, no, you've got to make shahada, we need witnesses. You've got to say these words. I said, can't you just let me do it in English? I said, have you seen the guys out there, man? They've all got beards down here, they're massive. You get these words wrong, I'm a dead man again, you know? He goes, no, you have to say them, and trust me, bro, you know, trust me. And I did, and alhamdulillah I did. I stood up in front of all the brothers, and to be honest with you, I was looking across this sea of beards. I was mesmerised. I started to say the words, and all the fear went out of my body and out of my heart. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu an Muhammadan Rasulullah. And I felt like a shower had been turned on inside, and my whole body had been flushed clean. And trust me, I needed to be flushed clean. I was standing up there. All the brothers started yelling out, Takbir, Allahu Akbar. I thought I'd done something wrong. So I stood back a bit, and they started coming towards me, and I thought, oh no. I'm pretty sure I said what he said. And they started hugging me and kissing me. Now, I had never been hugged and kissed by that many men in my life. But I felt the brotherhood. Straight away, I could see people had tears in their eyes. And subhanAllah, I had tears in my eyes. And I sat there with people, and I spoke to people I didn't even know, I'd never met before in my life, and they were talking to me as though I'd known them for 30 years. And it was that day, that point in that moment that I realised I had more brothers, more sisters than I could ever have imagined. And good brothers and sisters, not bad ones, I'm talking good ones. SubhanAllah, I sat there maybe, I don't know, I can't remember how long, just talking to people, they were asking me questions. I went home with such a beautiful feeling because I knew at that stage that I had a clean slate. It was my chance now to start again, to forget about the drinking, to forget about marijuana, dope, whatever, you know, anything else I'd done in the past, and to start doing good things. I wouldn't say I always have done good things. I've tried my best. Sometimes we do stray. But the things that I'd like to sort of go on with here, in terms of once I became Muslim, a lot of brothers started to invite me to their house. And the first such experience that I can explain that was quite a funny one, went to a brother's house. You know, they wanted to introduce me to as many brothers as possible. I think they wanted to marry me off to one of their sisters. I went there and I went around to Assalamu alaikum. I was pretty proud of myself. I knew how to say Assalamu alaikum. And they go, so, kifa hadak, yes, kifa shuk. I'll be going, yeah, good. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. And they're going, ihki Arabi? I'm going, yeah, thanks. Again, I had no idea, but I smiled a lot, and I think I got away with it. So I'm sitting there, and they started talking amongst themselves. You know, in the lounge room. They call it a salon, right? Because you've got the Franco Cozzo chairs everywhere. And I'm sitting down. Again, no offence. I'm sitting down, and they started raising their voices to each other. I thought, what's going on here? They started screaming at each other. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be on the news. So I thought, it's up to me. I'm going to break this up. So I got up and I said, everyone calm down. And my mate said, be quiet, they're just talking. And it was at that moment that I realised Lebanese people don't mind raising their voice just to be nice. Ever since then, alhamdulillah, you know, I've met many brothers, many sisters that I'm proud to say are true brothers and sisters to me. My family as well were quite strange towards me when I first became a Muslim. I didn't actually tell them for about the first maybe 6 months, until one day Mum caught me praying. I said I was cleaning the floor. So what's that? Oh, that's it. And then I told her. Mum was easy to convince. She went, well, and my mum's a beautiful lady. She said, whatever makes you happy, son. And that was beautiful. But my dad and my sister were very different. My dad was like, what? Have you got an AK-47? Have you got any grenades? I said, no, I'm not getting them till next week. It's all right. My father, I think, originally thought that I was going to be very strange towards him. Being separated from my mother, at that stage he had a girlfriend. He felt that I wouldn't approve. It was quite strange. It was a bit of a role reversal. I felt like his father and he was the son. What my dad actually said to me one time, which was quite a nice thing, he said, look, you know, as much as I don't know that I could ever believe what you believe, it's made you a nicer person. And as the other brother mentioned, obviously the fundamentals of Islam is that we have to respect our parents. Now, whether our parents are not Muslim, we still have to respect them, just as we have to respect our neighbours, respect anyone. And I was actually a lot nicer to my parents. I was kind of like, you know, get out of my way, I'm going out with my mates, see you later. And my dad's car broke down and he called me and I could come and pick him up. He was wrapped. And he said, you know, ever since you've become a Muslim, you're a lot more reliable. I said, inshallah, this is a Muslim trait, not a Lebanese trait. My sister also had a bit of difficulty with it. And again, I think it was centred around how's he going to think about us? What's he going to think of us? Once I explained to them that I'm not here to push my religion upon you, I'm just here to live my life. It's up to me, between me and Allah, how I'm going to do things. My sister actually now starts to agree with some things that I talk about. She buys halal meat when we go over, alhamdulillah. My mum only buys halal meat. I think we're keeping most of the butchers in, you know, they're keeping them, they can buy boats now, they can buy cars. All of my parents and everyone are buying halal meat. They actually say it tasted better. But obviously we know that there are reasons as to why we buy halal meat, not just because it tastes better. Ever since then I've been a lot happier. Things don't seem to get you down as much when you realise there's another purpose for you, that you're not just here to die, you're not just here to do 9 to 5 every day, work, go home, go to sleep, watch TV. Even just getting up and praying like the Fajr and praying each 5 prayers in the day, you feel like you've accomplished something. In Ramadan, again, you don't do much in Ramadan because you're starving, but at the end of the day when you get to break your fast, you usually do it with your family. I was always one to sort of love family, but I never had much. And ever since I became Muslim, I was sitting at tables with 30 people. I was sitting on the floor with 30 people. Alhamdulillah, you know, the feeling of brotherhood and community, I can't explain it to anyone who's never felt it. The only way I can say it is it's as though as soon as you shake someone's hand, they touch your hand and say, Assalamu alaikum, and you say, Wa alaikum salam. It's as though you could give them the keys to your house or your car. You can trust them explicitly and implicitly. You don't have to worry that they're going to go behind your back and steal your video recorder or anything like that, because you have that full trust. You know that there's that brotherhood bond. What I started to find was that I started losing my actual friends that I had before I was a Muslim and gaining a whole lot of new friends. I had friends saying to me, my old friends that is, saying, you're no fun anymore, bro, you know, you don't want to go out and drink anymore. And I'd be saying things like, well, drinking's no fun, you know, let's do this instead. But they still wanted to drink. And slowly but surely I lost most of my friends. But they weren't really my friends, I found in the end. Alhamdulillah, I gained all these new brothers. They're still what I consider friends. And inshallah, if you haven't felt the feeling that I'm talking about, I sincerely hope it happens to you at one stage in your life. I encourage you to investigate all the religions, and particularly Islam. I would say that one of my favourite verses, I'll end with this verse, is a particular verse that says, let there be no compulsion in religion, because the truth stands clear from error. Assalamu alaikum.